It's going to work this time. Good morning, everybody. I know that works. See, I created a private group this morning so I could practice and talk to my sister and not look like a dork on the internet, right? And so that was still broadcasting to my sister in the private group, and she's like, "Hey, dude, you're on the wrong channel." Good morning, my lovelies. How are you? Are all our bodies good? Are you ready for some core? Some slow flow? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a little practice. We're going to do our warm-up in the beginning, and then when we get into the slow flow, it's 10 counts, and the core is in between. But it's a 10 count, and I'm telling you now because it's kind of hard to coordinate the breath and let everybody kind of get online here. Here I am, I'm finally online. I'm going to take a really long inhale, and when I get that really long inhale, at the top of the inhale will be the first count. And then I'm going to take a really long exhale, and that will be the second count. So if you're wondering when the counts are coming and you want to try to breathe at the same time with me, it's going to be at the top of the breath and at the bottom of the breath. And so if you pay attention to your breathing, which we'll do, you'll notice that there's kind of like this zero gravity spot at both of those places in between the inhale and the exhale, and that's where we'll count. But the really slow part doesn't happen till the end. So I'm glad you guys are all here.
Thank you. I'm glad I finally got
the internet. If anybody could break the internet, my son said it would be me. So, me and my bad cup of coffee.
So if it's not working at my house, Michelle.
Yeah. So from your house, because it's Michelle's fault.
It's Michelle's fault.
It's okay. I'll take the blame. And then I'll send Taylor to go fix it. He fixes all my stuff, but you know what? He doesn't give me grief anymore. Because I'll say, "Taylor," and he's like, "Huh," and I'm like, "Dude, I taught you how to use a spoon. You can fix this." So, and it blew up in my face though, because yesterday, a day before yesterday, we were playing a game, and I started to go with him. He goes, "I taught you how to use your phone." I'm like, fair. So let's get started. We're going to bring the chin to the chest. Feel the back of the neck stretch. I'm so glad you guys are here, that I found the right channel, that everybody's with me. Find your breath. This is where we set the intention for the practice. So we have all these different bodies that we have when we come in. We have a physical body, an energetic body, a mental body, an emotional body, and typically none of them are on the same page. So just do that little bit of extra work. How does my body feel? How's my emotional body feel? You got feelings all over the place? How's your mental body? Are your thoughts scattered? Energy, do you feel high, low, lagging? And there's no judgment, these are just observations, because we're going to check back in at the end of the practice. So we have that intention. Maybe you dedicate your practice if you don't really have a specific intention for your practice. And we're going to open those eyes. Don't forget to smile. Lace those fingers together, cross out, and lift up really big. Oh my goodness. All right, here we are. Nice and tall, opening through the heart. And we're going to turn to the right. Yay, I see stuff. Yay, I'm glad everybody's finding me. I didn't make it easy for them, so they really had to find me. They had to want to be in yoga. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to let that left shoulder drop down. Now when the left shoulder comes down, right hand comes up. Right hand is up. We're opening through right rib cage, through the waistline, down into the hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Contract that right side slowly. Come on. Back to the front. We're going to lace those fingers, press out and up. And twist to the left, tall spine. Oof. Snap, crackles, and pops. Sorry about the CD player. A couple of things. One, the CD player is legitimately broke. broken is correct grammar. We're pretty sure lightning hit the church and fried it. And then typically I would use my phone to play music, but it's a little busy right now. And YouTube flags my videos when there's music in it to ask me if I have copyrights. So, right shoulder down, left hand up. You just get to enjoy my voice, which I know you want anyway, right? You're supposed to say yes.
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
do.
do.
We love your voice, Michelle.
Thank you. 2,
Do we still have to do core?
3,
Okay.
4.
I know the answer to that.
Yeah, we're still doing core.
Okay.
5, and back up. Nice tall spine.
I did try.
You tried. I will give you an E for effort. And back to the center, forward. Really stretching out the back. Now, anytime that we do core, we have to pay the appropriate amount of attention to back body. Because I like to what's the right word? Describe core as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Slowly set up, and I know you guys are like, that's interesting. Change the cross. So imagine that your spine is a piece of bread with peanut butter on it. If you try to sit the bread up on the edge, it's going to fall over, right? But then you have the front body, which is those abdominal muscles, and it's the other piece of bread in the jelly. And if you set it up by itself, it would fall. But once you put them together, it becomes stable, right? So that core is not any good without the structure of the spine and the back, and the back doesn't work without the structure of the abdominals. So with all the core we're doing, we're going to have to do back bending and back work. So be really conscious of how your back feels as we start practicing. It'll keep you from getting twinges later. Right arm comes down. We're going to lengthen through that left side, open through that shoulder, through the rib cage, really press through armpit and lift. Turn the face up, smile, be happy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left hand comes up, bend at the elbow, twist it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And gently stretch and back up, and left arm comes down, right arm reaches. Nice big stretch, opening through side body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hand comes up, bend at the elbow, twist it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And unwind and lengthen. And back up. Roll those shoulders back. I missed you too, Barbara. I'm just now being able to get caught up on those comments. Big stretch through the chest, opening through the arms and chest. And we come forward, hands come up. Oh, really big stretch. Lift those hands up away from the waistline. And release it out. We're going to take those hands, we're going to do a little bit of a circle here. We're going to try to open through the body. Jeannie, don't go and warn them. She's like, watch out, girls, it's killer. She came to class last night. She's trying to warn everybody. And change directions. And come back to the center. We're going to put the bottoms of the feet together. Nice and tall. We're going to slowly start to hinge at the hips, leaning forward. So yes, we're absolutely feeling it here. This is cobbler's pose. That's what's going to happen. But we want that lengthening through the spine as we fold so that you can start to feel that lower back stretch. So see if you could pull the navel in towards the spine and really lengthen out that lower back as it comes down through the sacrum and get into glute medius on both sides. It's going to make a difference for you earlier. Later, all of those things. In all directions of time, it's going to make a difference. And back up. Bring those knees up, cross those arms, and roll the back. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring those knees up. We're going to change the cross. We're going to roll the back body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to bring those legs back in. We're going to reach down, grab that right foot, lift it up. So we're going to get that hamstring to kind of just really kick in and say good morning. So Frank.
It's never said good.
I was going to ask you. Let's see if we can make it not be quite so grouchy. And now we're going to take this leg, we're going to slowly bring it out to the side. We have to sit up a little bit for that to happen. You're going to feel a lot of pressure down on the right sits bone. That's what we're going for because that pressure point is releasing some glute muscles, which we're going to need for our standing flow. 3, 4, is that you smiling?
Yes.
And then 5, and bring it back in, and the foot comes down. We're going to grab this foot. Nice tall spine. I did see pictures on Facebook of the fish that you caught last week.
Those were some big grouper.
They were really big. But I was thrilled that you were able to watch yoga while grouper fishing. So, 2, 3. You gave us, you supported us. You cheered us on. 3.
I was doing my core.
4. See, I love it when you do your part. And 5. Bring that leg out to the side. Sit up tall. Let that left sits bones really press down into it. And 1, 2, 3. How's those hamstrings? Okay, and back to the center. We're going to put that foot down. Drop those knees over to the left. Really working on the outside of the leg, that IT bend coming down through the side. Nice tall spine. We've got so much work to do. I want to get it all in there. Oh, she goes, it's all good. I can't walk today, but, you know, it's a win. From yesterday's class and switch to the other side. It's no fair to go in there and say stuff like that. It's kind of like all those people who have had children. Women who've been pregnant, and then one girl who's never had a baby before, and you tell her how terrible it was. I'm like, dude, why would you say that to her? Don't say that. Say it's going to be fine. Hardly notice the scars later. And back up and extend the legs. Bounce it out. We're going to lean forward. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning to those hamstrings.
And then you have another one.
And then you have another one. Because time's funny that way. It makes you forget all about it, right?
Yes, yes.
1. I tried to tell Taylor all the time, you know what? I got you perfect the first time. I only needed 1.
That's right.
I think he believes it.
He's so sweet.
He is pretty darn sweet.
Sweet man.
I had to run out the door late yesterday. I was working, and he's like, Mom, you're going to be late for yoga. I come around the corner, and there he stood with a bowl of spaghetti and veggie meatballs. He had made me dinner, and I didn't even know it. He goes, eat this in the car on the way home. Or we just work. I'm like, okay. And bring that right leg across. I said, you're going to like live here forever, right? And he's like, yeah, probably. Leaning forward, really get in that hamstring. Trying to distract Frank from the hamstring work. And 2.
Is it working, Frank?
Is it working, Frank? He's like, yes. 4, 5. We're going to come back up. The foot comes next to the knee. Rotate to the right. Nice tall spine. 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to the center. We're going to grab that foot, rock it out. A little bit of work in the hip. We're going to place that foot on the inside, tall spine, leaning forward, hamstring stretch. I know, you guys think, I have so many more muscles. Why do you keep on with that one? We're done with that. No, pretty much. And up, right hand comes back, and lengthen and stretch. Really long side body. Full breath. So this really gives us that opportunity to breathe with intention. And the booty comes right back down. And we're gonna place that right foot on top of the left thigh. We're gonna pull that knee in, and it might be here that you have to be today. Maybe your hip is a little grouchy. Maybe you can bring it down. So we have about 20,000 breaths a day. And you're like, that's insane. And it is, but how many of those did you do intentionally? That's the insane part, right? So it's been proven that with intentional breathing, it can stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, the body can calm down, your heart rate can go down, so it's really helpful and gently release. So during class, I try to cue you just to remember, because even if you only do it during class, you'll feel better, right? Nice little bounces. We're going to take that left leg, bring it across, and come forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to come up, bring that foot up, and rotate to the left. Tall spine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to the center, grab the foot and rock it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to put that foot on the inside, leaning forward. Ooh, ooh, ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly come up. Left hand comes behind. Press down. Lengthen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that booty comes right back down. We're going to place that foot and the thigh. And we're going to see if we can bring that right knee up. Left knee down. Otherwise known as coffee drinking pose. That's good. Oh, God, it's really bad coffee. But I needed a cup of coffee. Teach me to drive away and leave my coffee at home. You see, it's not stopping me from drinking this. And gently release and do a little bounce. So we're getting ready to recline. And while we're reclined, we're going to do our core work. But there's one pose in particular that is really hard for you to see once you lay down. I'm going to show you that pose before we lay down. And some of you did it with me last week. So there's a pose here where we work and we pull the leg in like this. So this is reclined pigeon. A lot of studios call this wind releasing pose. I refuse to call it that. But then once you put the foot down, you want to take this right foot and place it under the knee and on the floor. So to get that foot under my knee, I have this little trick where I kind of hook it under my thigh and then just let the instep slide down the leg. And this is really going to help get into the groin, onto the insides of the quad, and that further hamstring, because there's 3 hamstring muscles, the one towards the inside, and then we end up pulling the knee in. Because I really need for us to release that lower psoas and abs before we start our lift. So you kind of got how that should work. All right, let's do that. We're going to grab those knees, roll back, pull those knees in, a nice little rock. Arms come out to the side, drop the knees to the left. Nice rotation. 1, 2. Now for the last 3 counts, extend that right leg out into your left hand. 3, 4, 5. You're going to release that, bring those knees back to the center. Do a little rock. Drop the knees to the right. Nice rotation. Opening through side body. 1, 2. Extend that foot out into right hand. 3, 4, 5. We're going to release that foot. Bring those knees back to the center. Heels come up. Happy baby. We have those heels we're trying to pull down and flatten the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right leg comes out to the side. I know. Frank thinks it's a trick. It's not. We're just going to a little stretch here. Hamstring. 3, 4, 5. Bring that foot in. Left leg comes out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We bring that back in. So with Happy Baby, what's happening here? It's helping us set up for core. The lower back is all the way down to the floor here. The sacrum is flat. The hips are balanced. So we can release those heels, bringing knees in. And then from here into the chest, we're going to extend those legs forward, flattening feet. We're going to work through obliques first. And when we bring the legs to either side at 45, there's going to be pressure into the glutes, which is going to release those bigger tissues in the back. We send the arms out, and we want to put them palms down because that's going to give you a little more control. So for you guys in that back row, if you just stagger your arms, you shouldn't have a problem. We're going to slowly bring the legs to the left, and you're looking at about a 45-degree angle. So if you're not sure what that is, it's halfway between the floor, halfway between the ceiling, and all of your weight is on left glute, and your right butt cheek is up off the floor, and that's okay. But what's not okay is letting the right shoulder come off the ground. We want to keep it pinned back. That's the most important touch point there. 4, 5. We're going to bring those legs back to the center. Take a pause. And we're going to bring them over to the right. So again, 45 degrees to the right. Most important touch point, left shoulder, still in contact with the floor. Palms are down to help support you. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring those legs back to the center. And we're going right into the next one. So we're going to bring that right leg down to a 45, and it's just going to kind of hang out. So the left one straight up towards the ceiling. Hands are going to come on the back of the head. Now this is to help you support. You're not pulling on the head. You're going to roll those elbows to the left and down to right toes and down. That's 1. Roll to the left and down to right toes and down. That's 2. Roll to the left and down to right toes and down. That's 3. Roll to the left and down to right toes and down. That's 4. Roll to the left and down to right toes and down. That's 5. Lift right leg. The left leg comes down at a 45. Try to get your lower back to the floor. We're going to roll to the right and down. Roll to left toes and down. That's 1. Roll to the right and down. Roll to left toes and down. That's 2. Roll to the right and down. Roll to left toes and down. That's 3. Roll to the right and down. Roll to left toes and down. That's 4. Roll to the right and down. And roll to left toes and down. That's 5. And bring those legs up. We're going to pull those knees in. Oh, and release. How you doing, Liz?
Oh, I'm struggling.
You're struggling. You should do it and talk. And we're going to put that right foot on that left knee. We're going to pull the left knee into the chest, feeling the hip, feeling that lower back, taking a little break here. We let that left foot come down. We're going to hook that right foot and just allow that leg to fall open. Once that leg is open, now we're going to bring that left foot in towards the chest, but both feet are hooked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gently release that down. We're going to bring right knee up and switch. So we're going to put left foot on right knee. Pull right knee into chest. Feel that work in the hip. So this is going to stretch out that same place that you put pressure when you did the legs from side to side. We allow that foot to come down. We're gonna maybe hook that left foot, slide it down. Both feet are flexed. Right knee comes into chest. Open through that left leg. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna put that foot down, bring that knee in, and settle. So what we're going to do now is leg lifts. And after we do leg lifts, we're going to give core a little bit of a break and move to standing. So we're going to bring those legs straight up. And we're going to try to get the core to push down, or your abs is a better word, your abdominals, down towards the back. And we want that lower lumbar to flatten out with those legs up. Now when we do leg lifts, it's going to put a lot of strain in lower back. So ideally when you're doing leg lifts, you should put your hands under your glutes a little bit to stabilize the pelvis. So we're going to take the hands and we're going to slide them under the butt cheek. Now, when I do that, it's typically just my thumb and the base of the thumb. I don't really have to go in much further than that. But what we're going to do together is we're just going to slowly let those legs drop all the way down to the floor. This is letting you see if you have any spots that are catching. And about the time that you get about 2 inches off the floor, your lower back will start to pop up. That's okay. And then we're going to just lift straight back up. Now, if you had any discomfort, you're just going to adjust your hands. Maybe you need to bring them in a little more. And now we can start. We're going to bring those legs down to a 45. This is where the breathing starts. Inhaling. 1. Exhale all the way out. 2. Inhaling. 3. Exhaling. 4. Inhaling. 5. Now we let those legs float down towards the floor. We're about 3 inches off the floor. We're sending the navel in towards the spine. Lower back is on the floor. And 1. Are we inhaling? Are we breathing at all anymore? 2. How about if we just don't worry about the breath and I'll count? 3. We're smiling though. 4, because remember, we don't grimace because that's the purple guy from McDonald's. And 5, we're going to bring those legs up to 45. Fill in your lower back. You've totally got this. 1, 2, 3. Lower back down, lift pelvic floor, breathe. 4, 5. We're going to bring those legs straight up, bend at the knees, pull those knees into the chest. Nice little rock. See, I told you you had that. Now, from here, we're going to cross at the ankles. We're going to roll up, and then once we come up, we're going to come all the way over. All right, now once we're here, we're going to inhale up. It's perfect today, clear and no stopping. Yay, I worked my keister off for that. So thank you for the feedback, Barbara. Inhaling up and down. One more time, up and down. Flat back. It's also not raining cats and dogs today, so I'm sure that helps. Keep the toes turned under. We're going to turn those toes, come into down dog. Bend and stretch it. So check in with those calves, the feet, the ankles, the toes. Nice long spine. Head is even between the arms. Wait, let the left foot float to center. Right leg comes up, bend the knee, open through the hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our right foot comes down and switch. And left leg comes up, bend the knee and open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to let that left foot come down, bend those knees, look forward, step forward, fingertips flat back. Forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Hands come down. I heard some back there. Right? So this is when we get a chance to shake that out. So we're only going to do 3 postures. We're going to do warrior 1, warrior 2, and triangle. He's looking at me like, she only says 3, but there's a catch. I know that there's a catch. And there is a catch. When we go through to do our vinyasa in the middle, we're going to add in more core. So, normally we'll do knees, chest, and chin, up dog, down dog, and then do the other side of the posture. But while we're in those postures, we're going to add in core. We couldn't do any more together before we got fatigue in our abs. So we're going to do our standing. We're going to work on our breath. Now, the first pose we're going to do is warrior 1. Warrior 1 here for 10 counts. Your fingers might get a little tingly. You might feel like they're going to sleep. So halfway, if you want to move to maybe goalpost arms or eagle arms, any type of those movements that you want to do. Maybe you have a shoulder that's bothering you, modify. But you can do that halfway. A lot of people will do that. So we're going to just take her time. She ran that way. She'll be running back right here. Is she coming? I can drink coffee and wait for her to come. You see how I use that as an excuse to drink coffees? I used you being gone so I could drink coffee. No, it's all good. Here we go. Inhale up. Exhale forward. I didn't want you to miss any fun. You like, hooray. Fingertips flat back, really lengthening through the spine. Nice long back. Forward folding, bend the knees. Send that right foot back, grounding that right foot. Now, we're going to be here a while, so your foundation is important. So make sure you have a really good foundation through back foot, then press through front foot, coming up into warrior 1. Settle into it. Find your breath. I'm inhaling and starting to count. You breathe on your own. Inhaling for me. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. If you want to change arm placement, this is a good spot. You don't have to. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Hands slowly come down to the floor. Our first core will be plank. So we're going to come to the ball of the foot. We're going to step back to plank. We're going to hang out in plank. We're going to push through those heels. You're pushing the mat down. Don't think about pushing yourself up. Looking between those thumbs and inhaling. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Put the knees down.
Chest and chin down. Rest the body all the way down. Soften those feet. Now turn the backs of your wrists down towards the mat to let them rest. I could hear all of you thinking when I started to count 1, they're like, oh no, is she going to do 10? Oh, crap. I could hear you thinking it, but you guys were troopers. We let those wrists rest. We want all 10 toes to be pressing against the floor. The big toe mounds are together. Legs are together. We're going to lift the chest up even though those wrists are turned down. Lift the chest open through the heart. We have contraction going on in that lower back. And we're trying to even out those ab works with contractions in back. This lengthens the tissue in the front body, contracts that tissue in back body, giving us a suppleness, not just flexibility and strength. And we're going to slowly roll back down. Take a pause, maybe rock those hips from side to side. Hands come to the floor. We press to table. From table to down dog. Should feel pretty good to get a chance to lengthen out. Maybe a little bend and stretch in the knees. And we're going to let that right leg float forward, grounding the foot. And slowly come up. Nice tall spine. Here we go. Inhaling. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Change your arms if you need to. 7. 8. 9. 10. Hands slowly come to the floor. Palms down, turn to the ball of left foot, stepping forward, fingertips flat back, forward fold. Now there's a different way to come up. I don't want you to swan dive up. We're going to let the arms dangle like rag doll. So you should be looking at your knees, not your feet. Soft bend in the knee. You're going to try to roll up. You're going to stack one vertebra on top of the other, like a strand of pearls. Lengthening up, shoulders come up by the ears, and straight down. Up by the ears, and straight down. One more time with an inhale. Inhale up. Exhale it out loud. Good job, right? Yay, so that was 1. We have 2 more to go, but we totally have this, right? So the slow flow. Flow, anytime you hear flow in yoga, it means you're connecting breath with movements. And you should always incorporate breath and movements, but we're holding it a really long time. So your focus not necessarily is the posture, but that deep, resonating breath to help cleanse the palate, so to speak. I want to work on Warrior 2. Now with Warrior 2, I'm taking a mudra, which is just a hand placement to help energize the body. It's called Prana Mudra. So here's the peace fingers. Here's the nail beds of the ring finger and the pinky finger, and it looks like this. Now, if that's something that you don't want to do, you don't have to. Halfway through, let's say you're doing this and you switch to here, you'll notice a breath difference. Here's the other reason I like to do it. When we're in Warrior 2, those palms are turned down. That relies on this deltoid to hold your arm up for like 3 minutes. Where if you have this little bit of rotation, that bicep gets the help. All right? Just makes it a little easier on your body when we're doing these poses. But you do you. I want you to feel comfortable in your practice. We're going to start at the front. We're going to inhale up. Exhale, forward folding. Fingertips flat back, forward fold, Bend the knees, foot comes back. We're gonna ground that foot. Make sure you have a good foundation. We're gonna cartwheel those hands up. Make sure you're down in there. Feel those feet. I'm gonna go ahead and come right into that mudra. You don't have to. Bending in. Here we go. Inhaling. 1. Lift the pelvic floor. Pull the navel in. Make sure your left knee is going left. 2. 3. Maybe you can sink it some. 4. Try not to do your spine like this. Try to make sure it's straight up and down. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. We bend those elbows, let those hands cartwheel down. We're going to come to the ball of right foot. When we come to the ball of that right foot, we're going to step back to plank. Now from plank, we're going to come to knees, chest and chin, belly comes down. So we want to continue to work with our core, but we made our wrists kind of tired last time. So we're going to do forearm plank this time. We're going to play with it. Hooray for playing with it, right? I don't know what I did here. I lost me. I'm lost. Here I am. Perfect. Now, from here, we're going to slowly lift the chest up. We're going to put those forearms down. Once we get the forearms down, we're going to lift up. This pose is called Sphinx posture. So it's a really big lift, opening through the heart, opening through the throat. Try to keep those legs together. We're pulling navel in towards the back body. We're going to turn those toes under. Once we get the toes under, we're going to lift and come into a forearm plank. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. We're going to put those knees down, let the belly come down. Holy guacamole, rest it out. I'm sure everybody at home thinks, oh my gosh, all of the screen must have frozen. We're going to rock it from side to side. Oh, we're going to let those hands come underneath the shoulders. And we're going to press the table. Annika, I see you in here. Congratulations on swearing in. I am so proud of you. And yes, I remember doing yoga with you in North Carolina, and that was awesome. And I enjoyed hiking the AT with you. That was so cool. We're going to turn those toes under.
How far did you go on that?
I'm sorry?
How far did you make it on that?
The line between North Carolina and Tennessee, that one.
Yeah, how far did you go? The whole way?
Oh gosh, no, that takes about 3 months. I would love to do it though, and bring that right foot forward. Would totally do that. And then there's the Continental Divide one, the Pacific Coast Highway one. I would like that one too. And cartwheel up. Yeah, I could pretty much just hike the rest of my life. I'd be happy. And sink in, as long as I could take my dog. It would be good. So we're going to maybe take Prana. Right knee goes right. Sinking down. And settling in. Here we go. Inhale. 1. Now you're trying to lift pelvic floor, pull navel in, right knee right. Because as we get tired, that right knee starts to float in, but let it come out. 2. Maybe you sink a little deeper. 3. Check your back foot. Make sure the edge rolls all the way down. 4. Check your spinal alignment. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. We're going to bend at those elbows, so slowly sit those hands down. We're going to come to the ball of that left foot, stepping forward. Fingertips flat back, really lengthen that body. Forward fold, hanging out. Good morning, Dennis. And from here, we're going to look at those knees. We're going to soft bend those knees. We're going to slowly start rolling up. 1 vertebra at a time. All the way up. Remember, shoulders up by ears and down. Inhale, up by ears. Side that down. One more time. Inhale up. Side it down. And release. Yay! We only have one more to do. So the next one that we're going to do is triangle. And triangle can be hard on its own already. So with triangle, though, what we typically do is when we turn that foot out, we typically put our hand here, or skipping the knee, put our hand here or on a block. But when we do, we have a tendency to prop out, right? So by putting the hand here, we're just kind of hanging out, right? All our weight is down. And then I want you to put your weight in your hand. I want the hand to hang. So you have to use a muscle for that to work, right? And so we're going to take the good way to judge is to take the nail beds and just press them on the inside of that calf. That's where we want to be. Now, it may be you get to 5 and you'd be like, oh, come on. And I get that, and that's okay too. I want you to have the option to change it back and forth like we did with our arms. And then we'll be done. We're going to take it down to the ground and have some shavasana, right? And we're going to step to the front. Here we go. Inhale up. And exhale forward. And oh yeah, I skipped the part about the abs in the middle, and it's going to be boat. Fingertips flat back, you're welcome. And forward fold, soften those knees, send that right foot back, grounding that right foot. We're going to cartwheel up into Warrior 2. Now once we're in Warrior 2, we're going to straighten front leg. We're going to lengthen and tip fingertips on the out or inside of that calf. Right arm up, hips forward, shoulders back, and 1. I have a cramp. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. We're going to allow that arm to come down. And now from here, we're going to come to the ball of right foot. We just step straight back to down dog this time. We bend and stretch. Now, we need to make it to our bottoms. And you're like, but my bottom is currently in the air. So we're going to try to make this transition to seating. So we're going to bring that right leg forward, kind of cross like we're going to do pigeon, cross at the ankles, and maybe we can roll over into a seated position. And that might not work for everybody, but as long as you get to your bum. I wanted to try to make this as far into the practice as we could. We're going to bring those knees in, maybe give them a little hug, tall spine. So this is going to be a 10 count, but not like the 10 counts we've been doing because I love you, I don't dislike you. But there's a lot of them, so it's a faster count, but more work. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hands come to the heart. You're turning to the left. Right elbow touches left knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to the center. Extend those arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those hands come to the heart. Turn it to the right. And 1, 2, 3. Keep those knees up and together. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to the center. Straight legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Smiling 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cross it, come right on over. Stepping back to down dog. Bend and stretch, bend and stretch. Right leg comes forward, grounding that back foot. We cartwheel up, warrior 2. Straighten front leg. Lengthen as that right arm travels forward, right hip goes back. And tip. So the right fingertips are on the inside of the shin. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Top arm comes down. Bend that knee. Come to the ball of that left foot, stepping forward, crawling forward, which works. Whatever works. Lengthen through that spine. Forward fold. We're going to soft bend those knees. Let's stack those pearls again. Slowly rolling up. Once we get here, same thing again. Inhale, shoulders up by ears. And exhale it out. 3 times. Inhaling up. Exhale it out. That was number 2. So this is the last one. Inhaling up. Exhale it out. And we did it. We're awesome. All right, so we're going to spread almost mat distance apart, depending on the mat you have. I have a Manduka, so it's really big. So it might not need to be fully a mat apart, because we're going to come into a squat and then sit down on the mat. So we're up near the front of the mat. We're going to sit down. Nice little squat here. Giving this a little bit of work. I'm glad you guys like this practice. Well, they say this, they like this practice. This is a good practice. It's good abs. And slowly here. We feel the hips working. And we're going to slowly sit down. Oh, and squeeze. That makes me happy when people are like, oh, this is a great practice. I'm going to use this on replay. And I'm like, yes, thank you. But Brian always makes me smile. Every single video, he sends me a sunshine. It makes me feel so good. He's like, goals. And roll back. Oh, and if you roll back just right, you get that upper thoracic adjustment and it feels awesome. A little rock from side to side. Jeannie, are you still hanging in there? Barbara, how you doing? You still here? We worked so hard, we should end together as well. We're gonna let those arms come out to the side. We're gonna drop those knees over to the left. Nice rotation, you're gonna feel it in those waistline. I'm going to bring those knees back up. And then let those knees come over to the right. Nice rotation. And then we're going to bring those legs back up. And put those feet right back down. Windshield wiper a little bit here with those legs. Feel that work through the outside of the hip. Now we were in those standing postures a really long time, and now you understand why the hip work in the prep, so that we can have a really good foundation for the rest of the work. Now we did a lot of abs, a lot of core, so we want to work on the back body one more time. So we're going to bring the feet in, and so in the group that's in the studio today, there are some folks, I'm pretty sure, can do full back bend. So I'm going to let that be an option for the people in-house studio. If you're at home and you feel like you can do a full back bend, go ahead, but only if you're sure and you can be safe about it. So we'll do 2 back bends. So what we'll do is together, we'll do bridge first. And then the second one, you can repeat bridge or do full back bend, full wheel. So we're going to start by just pressing through the feet, lifting the glutes up. So we have contraction in glute, contraction in hamstring, but that's really not the goal. The goal is to press down through the heels of the feet and lift the hips up. And then back bend happens. For your hips to come up, the back body has to contract, allowing the front body to elongate. Don't let your knees go out to the side, because your abductors are going to try to help because they're stronger than the adductors. But if you continue to let them do that, they will always be stronger. So think about trying to squeeze a block between your knees. Makes it a little harder. You already may feel a little like Jello, sorry about that. And slowly calm down. Now, getting ready to practice that full back bend. Remember, for you guys here in the studio or at home, you don't have to do a full back bend. You can repeat bridge. If you're going to do full back bend with me, you want to get those feet in, you want them parallel, go ahead and put your hands in place. Now, some of you like to do the little stop with your head, and that's only if you're not putting weight in your head. That's okay with me. So you could come up, just do a little placement, and press. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slowly we start to come back down. If you need to do a little prep on your head and roll down, that's okay. You don't have to do it that way. You can just lower all the way down. Little rock with those legs. And then we're going to prepare for Shavasana. We're going to extend those legs out, so I don't knock over my coffee. That would be tragic. And relax it down. Maybe you put your hands beside you. Maybe you put them on the belly. And when we're in this position, we're just scanning the body again. How's the physical body? The energetic body. The emotional body. The mental body. Now, a neat thing here is the breath is that one thing that you can do that will affect all 4 of those bodies at the same time, right? Because you've been running or exercising and still been in your head. Or you having an emotion and still have a to-do list in your mind. But breath will transcend across all of those platforms. So we continue to breathe. And that breath brings those bodies together and helps you be on the same page. We release the feet, the ankles, the shin and calf. We move through the knees into the thighs. We soften glutes and pelvic belly. We release that lower back and navel. A lot of awareness here in the belly and the back. We release mid-back and solar plexus. And sometimes if I can't make that connection, I'll lay my hand on it, making me feel heavy and sink in. We release chest, so the heart, the shoulder blades, we lift collarbones. We elongate through neck. We soften jaw. We soften face. We notice our breath here, inhaling up back body, exhaling down front body. We've been laying here a little bit, focusing on our breath already. So maybe you begin to move those fingers and toes. Maybe a little wrist circles or ankle circles, moving through those feet. And let's bend one knee, put that foot down. Bend the other knee, put that foot down. Maybe a little rock from side to side in those knees. And then maybe we roll to the right side. And then from there, we're going to maybe push ourselves up to a comfortable seated position. Now you can absolutely stay in whatever position suits you for the day. And as we get back to that seated position, we check in. We feel the straightness of the spine, but we feel the difference in the musculature of the body. We feel grounded through the sits bones. We feel much more quiet. And we feel balanced. We allow the head to turn to the right. We allow the head to turn to the left. We come back to the center. We bring the hands to the heart. We remind ourselves of all the amazing things we have in our lives to be thankful for. And it is huge. Absolutely huge, the things that we have. We send out love and kindness, compassion to those who need it. You don't need to know who they are. It's probably even better if you don't. So you don't have any attachment to it. You can give it freely, unconditionally. And we're going to end the practice with an Om, if you're comfortable. Inhaling. Bowing forward in respect. Namaste.
Namaste.
Peace be with you.
Go safely. And thank you for practicing with me today.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, yoga! Right? You did such a good job, and people at home did a really good job too. I took my glasses off, so yeah, I don't know if there's people there or not. Yes. Oh, hey, there's people.
I think during that one, like my hair started curling. It was wonderful.
All right. For those of you at home, I love you. Big, big hearts from me to you, and from everybody in the studio to you. Big kisses every Wednesday at 10 a.m. That I'm thinking about adding to those classes because this is a really good format. Everybody always has a good time. So I will see you guys later. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it.